The phrase, "you will know them by their fruits," is often quoted to suggest that you can tell who is and who isn't a believer by their works. Is that what the text is saying? Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Even so, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Therefore, by their fruits you will know them. The first thing to note is that this passage actually tells us whom we will know by their fruits. And it isn't false believers, it's false prophets. The second thing to note is that these false prophets are like wolves in sheep's clothing. They look like sheep, but are something else. That metaphor doesn't line up with the idea that we can look at people to tell whether or not they are saved. There's a parallel passage in Matthew that helps us to understand what the fruit is in this passage. It's in Matthew 12:33-34, and it reads, "Either make the tree good and its fruit good, or else make the tree bad and its fruit bad. For a tree is known by its fruit. Brood of vipers, how can you, being evil, speak good things? For out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaks." So this parallel passage might suggest that you will know them by their fruits in Matthew 7:16 means you will know false prophets by their words. There's another parallel passage in Acts 20:28-31 where the Apostle Paul alludes to Jesus' teaching on false prophets. In the passage, he's speaking to the elders in Ephesus and warning them against false prophets. The passage reads, "Therefore take heed to yourselves and to all the flock, among which the Holy Spirit has made you overseers, to shepherd the church of God which he purchased with his own blood. For I know this, that after my departure savage wolves will come in among you, not sparing the flock. Also from among yourselves men will rise up speaking perverse things, to draw away the disciples after themselves. Therefore watch and remember that for 3 years I did not cease to warn everyone night and day with tears." These passages teach that we can know false prophets and false teachers by what they say, which fits exactly with what Jesus says in Matthew 7:15-20. But there's another passage that makes this interpretation even more obvious. It's in Luke's recording of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, and Jesus' words there tell us even more clearly what he meant. It's in Luke 6:43-45, and it reads, "For a good tree does not bear bad fruit, nor does a bad tree bear good fruit. For every tree is known by its fruit. For men do not gather figs from thorns, nor do they gather grapes from a bramble bush. A good man out of the good treasure of his heart brings forth good, and an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart brings forth evil. For out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaks." So, "you will know them by their fruits" does not mean that we can tell who is and who isn't a believer by looking at their works. It means we can tell false prophets by what they say.